welcome back. This is still Gozi Accounting Academy. In this lecture, we're going to look at cost behavior patterns, the patterns by which cost behaves. We're going to look at three principal cost behavior patterns. They are variable cost, fixed cost, and then semi-variable cost. First, let's start with variable cost. What is a variable cost? A variable cost refers to cost that tends to vary with the level of activity within the short term. What do we mean by this? With variable cost, when the level of activity goes up, output goes up, the variable cost will go up. When it comes down, the variable cost will come down because it varies with the level of activity. That is how variable cost is defined. Example of cost that behave this way is cost of raw materials. When you produce more in the factory, you will spend more on raw materials. When you produce less, you spend less on raw materials, and that is variable cost. Now, true, the degree of variation might not be the same. Sometimes it might be linear, some other times it might be non-linear, but the point is that it varies with the level of activity. Now, let's look at the second cost behavior pattern, and that is fixed cost. What do we mean by fixed cost? Fixed cost refers to cost that is incurred for a period, and within a certain output level, it tends to be unaffected by fluctuations in the level of activity. What do we mean by this? We mean that with a fixed cost, irrespective of the level of activity, as long as it's still within the same range of activity in the short term, that the cost will remain unaffected. It will remain fixed. For example, costs like rent. The rent you pay for your factory, irrespective of whether you produce 10,000 units or whether you produce 5,000 units, you discover that the rent remains the same because you have paid for the entire building. So it doesn't vary with the level of production or level of activity. So we say that this kind of cost is fixed cost. The same thing with insurance. Insurance is fixed cost because what you pay for insurance premium will remain the same irrespective of the level of production or the level of output. So it's unaffected by the fluctuations in level of activity. Now, that is fixed cost. The other cost pattern that we want to talk about is what we call semi-variable cost. What do we mean by semi-variable cost? We say that a cost element is semi-variable if it contains both fixed and variable elements at the same time. This means that it varies partly and is partly it is also fixed. So that's the meaning. Examples of such costs are things like electricity. In some jurisdictions, like what we used to have some time ago, if you see something like electricity charge, you see what they call fixed charge. That fixed charge comes every month, irrespective of whether you used power or not. So the fixed charge will be there, but then the energy charge, which now is based on the quantity you have consumed, will now be added. So in that kind of charge, we say that it's semi-variable because some part of it is fixed, some part is variable. That's what we mean by semi-variable cost. Remember, this is still Gozi Accounting Academy. Remember to like our videos and to subscribe to our channel. In our subsequent lecture, we're going to look at another cost behavior pattern called the step cost. Bye for now.